Akiba in the fall of 2021. While the worst of COVID was over and behind us, the remnants hung heavy still at school. We were still wearing masks, we still had lunch in the classroom or outside, but we were no longer in pods. Javi was in 5th grade then. He came to Akiba a bit shy, very curious about the world, a multi-talented musician, and a love of soccer. Javi was also fluent in 2 languages and now beginning his 3rd. In short, Javi was and is awesome, right? But like everything, there's more to this story. Javi's inner voice, at least at school, was not telling him that he was awesome. Instead, it said things like, "This is hard, I don't know," or "I can't." Where was the confidence of the little guy with the soccer ball? There's a poem called The Victor by C.W. Longnecker, and it goes something like, "If you think you are broken, then you are. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't," and so on. Mindset. Around this time, Javi's parents emailed me. "The homework is too hard. It was taking hours, meltdowns, and I was assigning too much." Ugh, I didn't get it because, I saw this funny, curious, sometimes obstinate kid. I did not know about the whispering voice of negativity in Javi's ear. Javi and I decided to work on homework together one day in science class. By together, I mean I sat next to Javi, he did the reading and notes, and I hung out with a timer. It took about 15 minutes, and his notes were done well. What did we learn? Well, sometimes you just need someone next to you, cheering you on, someone alongside your parents who sees you and believes in you, and that sometimes school or anything is hard. The mindset, "I can do hard things," has to be it, because Javi, you can do hard things. Longnecker's poem goes on to say, "It's all in the state of mind. You have got to think high to rise. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man. Sooner or later, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can." Where does this mindset take you from 5th to 8th grade? It moves you from work done to work done well. It gives you the confidence to show you know. Javi, I am so proud of your learning journey at Akiba, but most importantly, I hope that you are too.
I joined Akiba in 5th grade. After bouncing around from school to school, my parents wanted a school that challenged me academically, and I wanted a school that supported me athletically and would accept me as a soccer player. My parents always included me in making choices about school, and I remember interviewing with Akiba on Zoom in 4th grade, which was the pandemic year. We had a couple of conversations with Miss Weitzman, Miss Cass, and Miss Carlo, and when I learned that Akiba had a basketball team, I decided that it might be okay to move there. This was important because my old school did not believe that sports were good for younger kids, and they asked me to slow down when I wanted to move ahead with reading or math. I was supposed to wait until the other kids were ready to move together as a group. This was not working well with me. My first year at Akiba was very hard, and I wanted to go back to my old school. I had to learn how to be a student at Akiba. I missed my friends at my old school, and I struggled to fit in with my new class. But then things got a bit better. Some of the older boys in the 7th and 8th grade class were nice to me and would play sports with me. And then later I began to make friends with kids my age. Renan GH, Ron Love, and Stuart became good friends. And in 6th grade, my longtime friend Aviv joined Akiba, and that made things a lot easier. As a lot of you probably know, sports are really important to me, and Akiba has supported my athletics right away. I joined the basketball team, and Akiba has also supported my soccer schedule, especially when my family and I had to travel for out-of-state competitions. I really loved being on the basketball team. I got to learn how to play a new sport, and it was really exciting this year to win the one-day shootout tournament we had at the end of the season. This was the first tournament that Akiba's basketball team has won, and I was so happy that I gave Akiba my medal from the tournament so that the school can remember winning this. This year, Another thing that Akiba brought back was fencing, which I enjoyed quite a bit. A fun thing about Akiba is our interdisciplinary projects. Doing these allowed us to learn to work together in groups, work on problem solving, and work on how to plan big projects so that it would succeed. Along the way, we had to do a lot of trial and error. A couple of the projects that I particularly enjoyed were the Rube Goldberg machine project in 6th grade and the Making a Better Chicago project in 7th grade. The Rube Goldberg project in 6th grade was a really fun project for everyone in the class. The way we had to work with groups that we don't usually work with helped us gain skills on how to collaborate with new people. The project also helped us learn how to make everything work correctly. We had to overcome challenges in a limited amount of time, and then we had to present our work to the school and the community. That project was probably one of my favorite projects. The Making a Better Chicago project was also really fun. We went on field trips, studied the neighborhoods to get an understanding of how everything was laid out and how it could be more eco-friendly. Some of the reasons I loved the project was making maps, going on field trips to neighborhoods we looked at, and building the final model of the neighborhood that incorporated ideas for making the area more eco-friendly and more comfortable for people who lived there. This implemented geography, which is not taught normally at Akiba, and geography is my favorite subject that is not a sport. I also love making experiments in science, so whenever we do experiments, it is always fun for me. I appreciate that Miss Rotfeld and Miss Rose always gave us room to explore and experiment on our own beyond the work we did within science class. An example of this was when Ron Lev, Stewart, and Avi and I started putting random stuff together in bottles of water with the balloons over the top to see if the mixtures would cause the balloons to inflate, and if so, if they could be made to inflate bigger and faster. We used things like yeast, borax, and vinegar and observed how each ingredient changed the rate of inflation. I love experiments, collecting data, and building hypotheses. Stuart, Nathaniel, and I are on our own. We created a project looking at the handedness and how it affects how people cross their thumbs when clasping their hands together. We started with an observation among us that caused us to ask questions about which thumb goes on top when you clasp your hands together, whether this is related to handedness. Then we started asking students and teachers to clasp their hands and tell us their handedness, and we figured out how to record the individual results and how to look for larger patterns. We're still working on the project, so we'll let you know the final results later. The Akiba community has helped me learn in a lot of subjects. The Akiba community has also been very welcoming to me as well. By my 7th grade year, I finally felt comfortable at Akiba. Yes, I still had some challenges getting along with people sometimes, but we all figured out together how to work with each other, and we became friends. And now, in my 8th grade year, I have trouble making my decision what high school I'll go to. I also like to still be in the classes that my friends are at Akiba, but the majority are in grades below mine or going to different schools next year. I'll miss Akiba a lot.